family harmony. Take a deep breath and feel the weight and lightness of this aspiration. It is, without a doubt, what all of us, matriarchs, guardians of the nest, most fervently desire, isn't it? It is the grand project of our lives, the masterpiece we yearn to sculpt with the chisels of love, dedication, and sacrifice. We build our existence around this ideal. It is our most precious legacy, the intangible inheritance we dream of leaving to our children and grandchildren. It is our safe haven, that bay of calm waters where our souls can finally rest, knowing that our loved ones are well, united, and at peace. But what happens when the waters are turbulent? Sometimes so subtly that we barely notice the beginning of the current. A breeze that should be a breath of warmth turns into a biting wind. A comment made with the purest intention of helping is met with an insult, with 7 stones in hand and a look that doesn't recognize us. The sea of tranquility we strive so hard to maintain is suddenly choppy with waves of misunderstanding, resentment, and distance. You retreat into the solitude of your thoughts, and the question echoes, painful and insistent. Where did I go wrong? My God, I only meant well. I only wanted to help. The truth, my dear and wise friend, is that the road to family conflict is often paved with the best and most loving intentions, and the most clumsy words. There are phrases that, in our minds, sound like care, like protection, like the most obvious demonstration of love. However, to our children, now adults, navigating their own complex seas, these same words resonate as veiled criticism, distrust in their abilities, and at times, a profound disrespect for their journey. They are like invisible sparks, thrown unintentionally onto an emotionally dry field, ready to ignite the delicate landscape of our harmony. Today, our mission is to disarm this minefield. Together, we will map the dangerous terrain of family communication. I will reveal to you, with the clarity of a treasure map, 4 phrases that you, as a visionary leader seeking peace and unity, must banish from your vocabulary. And most importantly, I will give you the golden keys. What to say instead. Changing these few words is not a mere semantic trick or a communication gimmick. It is a master strategy, a maneuver of high emotional diplomacy to ensure not only immediate peace, but also to build a fortress of trust and respect that will endure for generations. Prepare to become the true architect of peace in your home. Phrase 1. I told you so. Ah, the classic, the most tempting, the most devastating of all phrases. I told you so. Imagine the scene in slow motion. The door opens and your son walks in. His shoulders slumped, his gaze fixed on the floor, the weight of the world on his shoulders. The business he started with a gleam of hope in his eyes, the project he invested sleepless nights and all his savings in, has collapsed. Or maybe it's his heart that's shattered. The relationship he swore was the one that consumed his energy and his dreams, has come to an abrupt and painful end. And you who at the beginning with your mother's intuition, that ancestral wisdom that runs through our veins, felt a tightness in your chest, who saw the red flag it refused to see, feel an overwhelming wave rise in your throat. It's a mixture of frustration, relief at being right, and an almost uncontrollable desire to verbalize those 3 magical and terrifying little words. Why is it so deeply destructive? Because the phrase "I told you so" is never about helping. It's at its core about ego. It's about being right. It's self-affirmation at the most inopportune moment possible. In that moment of extreme vulnerability, your child doesn't need a teacher to point out their error in life's test. They desperately need a hug, a refuge. They don't need salt rubbed into their open wound. They need a bandage, a balm, a welcoming silence. This phrase publicly humiliates him, even if the audience is only you. It screams, between the lines, "I'm smarter than you. Your decision was stupid, and you didn't listen to me. Now face the consequences." It doesn't teach. It doesn't strengthen. It doesn't heal. The only thing this phrase builds is a wall of resentment. It ensures that the next time he's in trouble, fragile, or afraid, you'll be the last person in the world to know. He'll learn that his safe haven can turn into a courtroom. The strategic alternative: unconditional welcome and silent support. When he arrives, carrying the wreckage of your dream or your love, take a deep breath. Count to 10. Swallow the "I told you so." Lock him in an imaginary iron box and throw the key away into the depths of the ocean of your love for him. Instead, the first and most powerful action is nonverbal. Open your arms. Offer a long, silent, and firm hug. Let your body say what words at that moment cannot. Then, in a soft voice, offer the balm. I'm so sorry you're going through this. My heart aches with yours. I'm here for whatever you need. No questions, no judgment. Or if you feel like he's even remotely open to talking. That sounds incredibly painful. I can't even imagine what you're feeling. What can I do to help you get through this? Do you notice the seismic shift? You go from being the judge who holds the truth to the safe harbor offering unconditional shelter. You're not validating his wrong decision. You're validating his pain, which is real and legitimate. By doing so, you strengthen the bonds of trust exponentially. You demonstrate that your love isn't dependent on his success or failure, that it's far, far greater than your need to be right. This isn't just kindness. This is wisdom. This is emotional power. Phrase 2. At your age, Here's another subtle and dangerous trap, disguised as advice or encouragement. The anachronistic comparison between generations. At your age, my son, I already had 2 children, my own home and a stable job. At your age, I didn't have time for this so-called anxiety. I had bills to pay and work to do. Why is she so immensely toxic? Because the world, my friend, is no longer the same. Comparing today's challenges, pressures, and realities with those of 30, 40, or 50 years ago is like comparing apples and satellites. It's not just an unfair comparison, it's an illogical one. The economic stability that may have existed in your time has been replaced by the gig economy, instability, and the need to reinvent oneself every 5 years. Social pressure, once focused on getting married and having children, is now dispersed into having a successful career, a perfect body, an exciting social life posted on social media, and balanced mental health. When you say, at your age you're not, as you might imagine, inspiring your child to try harder. You're inadvertently invalidating the magnitude of their struggle. The message they receive is, your problems are insignificant, you're weaker than I was, or you're not trying hard enough. This creates a deep sense of inadequacy, of not belonging, and an abysmal distance. They'll inevitably think, my mother doesn't understand me. She has no idea what it's like to be me today. She lives on another planet. And this disconnect is the beginning of the erosion of mutual respect. The strategic alternative, validation of reality and admiration for resilience. The wise matriarch, the true leader, builds bridges between generations, not walls of misunderstanding. Instead of comparing worlds, validate the complex reality they inhabit and show genuine admiration for how they navigate it. Embrace curiosity instead of judgment. Try something transformative like, I keep trying to imagine how challenging things are for your generation. It's all so different and more complex. I admire the strength and resilience you have to deal with all of this. Or to open a dialogue, today's world seems much faster and more competitive than it was in my time. I'm immensely proud to see how you navigate all of this with courage. How do you do it? With this stance, the subliminal message shifts from, you are inadequate to, I see you. I acknowledge and respect your journey, even if I don't fully understand it. And I'm on your side, rooting for you. You cease to be a relic of a distant past and become a relevant ally, a source of strength in their turbulent present. Phrase 3. You have to? Herein lies a common strategic error, born of the purest protective instinct, the use of the imperative. You have to quit that job that doesn't value you. You have to break up with that person, they're not good for you. You have to buy that apartment, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The command disguised as advice. You have to. Why is it a fatal strategic error? The answer is simple and lies in human nature. Your child is an adult. The ultimate goal of parenting is, after all, to develop autonomous adults capable of making their own decisions. Commands, no matter how well-intentioned, generate an instinctive and powerful psychological reaction called reactance. No one, absolutely no one, likes to feel controlled or have their freedom of choice curtailed, especially by someone they love. The phrase "you have to" removes his autonomy from the equation. It transforms what could be valuable advice into an authoritarian imposition. Even if his analysis of the situation is perfectly correct, the way the message is delivered makes it indigestible, almost offensive. It communicates a profound lack of confidence in his ability to think, to consider, and to decide what's best for himself. It's like saying, "Let me decide for you, since you're incapable." The strategic alternative: offer perspective, not decrees. Your life experience is a treasure, a map full of safe routes and abysses to avoid. But a treasure should be offered as a precious gift, not thrown like a stone. The key is to transform an order into a suggestion, an imposition into a sharing of wisdom. Change your position on the board. Step out of the role of general who gives orders and assume the infinitely more influential position of state counselor. Try approaches like, "I went through a situation that reminds me a bit of yours. At the time, one thing that worked for me was your experience. I don't know if it applies to your case, but maybe it will give you some light or a new perspective to think about." Or even more powerfully, use questions that give back the power and encourage reflection. This is an interesting challenge. What are the options you're considering? What do you see as the pros and cons of each? Which path would leave you with more inner peace in the long run? This Socratic approach invites you to organize your thoughts and reflect, rather than arm yourself to defend yourself against an attack on your autonomy. You become a partner in the decision-making process, a confidant, rather than an authority to be obeyed or challenged. Your influence grows exponentially when you relinquish control. Phrase 4. Your brother, or cousin, aunt, neighbor, doesn't do that. If the other sentences are landmines, this one, my friends, is the weapon of mass destruction of family harmony. The direct comparison between children. Your brother would call to tell me news like that. Your cousin visits her parents every Sunday without fail. Look at your cousin's example. He's already settled down and making his family proud. Why is it the worst strategy of all? Because its impact is twofold and devastating. First, you create a direct and painful conflict between you and the child being negatively compared. Second, and perhaps much more serious, you plant the poisonous seed of rivalry, jealousy, and resentment between siblings or cousins. You place them in an unhealthy and invisible competition for your love and approval, which should be unconditional. No child wants to be the background to another's brilliance, to be the shadow while their sibling is the light. This phrase is a direct stab at self-esteem and conveys a terrible message. You as you are disappoint me. I would prefer you to be more like your brother. It's the perfect antidote to trust and the poison that corrodes sibling relationships, often forever. A wise matriarch, the leader of her clan, unites her kingdom. She never divides and conquers. The strategic alternative: direct, individual, and feeling-focused communication. Is the problem with a child's specific attitude? Then the conversation is strictly between you and them. No third parties, no audience, no comparisons. The focus should be on your relationship with them, and that alone. Each child is a universe, with a unique way of loving and connecting. To have this difficult but necessary conversation, use nonviolent communication. Be direct, honest, and crucially, talk about your feelings instead of making accusations. Try this powerful framework. 1. Ask permission and find the right moment. Son, I'd like to talk to you for a minute about something I'm feeling. Is now a good time? 2. Use the "I feel" and formula. When describe the specific action, e.g., we haven't spoken for many weeks. I feel your true feeling, e.g., homesick, a little forgetful, worried. 3. Make a clear positive request. It would mean the world to me if we could your desired solution, e.g., exchange a quick text once a week, just to let me know you're okay. What do you think about that? Would it work for you? This is adult, vulnerable, and honest communication that doesn't pit anyone against anyone else. It preserves the dignity of everyone involved and focuses on solutions, not blame. It's the attitude of a true family leader who nurtures each relationship individually. Do you now realize the immense power that resides not in our actions, but in our words? The language we use daily is the mortar that binds or cracks the foundations of our family. Words can build majestic bridges over chasms of misunderstanding, or they can erect high, cold walls of silence and hurt. The choice, in every moment, in every conversation, is ours. Abandoning these 4 destructive phrases isn't about canceling yourself out, keeping quiet, or walking on eggshells. Quite the opposite. It's about elevating yourself. It's about evolving from the reactive role of critical mother to the proactive role of wise matriarch. It's about understanding the quantum physics of human relationships. True influence doesn't come from force, criticism, or imposition, but from diplomacy, mutual respect, active listening, and the wisdom of choosing the right word at the right time. You are not just a member of your family. You are the architect of peace. Every word you choose is a brick in the construction of this sacred edifice. Every validated sentence is a window that lets in light. Every act of listening is the foundation that ensures the structure will withstand life's inevitable storms. If this deep dive into the art of family communication resonated with you, if you are ready to wield your power with wisdom and love, and become the guardian of harmony in your home, declare it to the universe. Comment below. I am the architect of peace. Let's form a community of women who support each other in this noble and essential mission. Share this text with other women, mothers, grandmothers, and aunts who, like us, seek wisdom to strengthen their most precious bonds. And keep seeking knowledge, for the wise matriarch's journey is one of continuous learning. A warm hug, full of peace, and until our next conversation.